Alright guys, welcome to the first video on the new Yu-Gi-Oh game of Master Duel. As you can see, I've played a few Master Duels. So last season I was in Platinum Division, that was with a standard Blue Eyes deck. But this season I'm playing with a GraveKeeper deck, which is, as you can see here, quite good. Some people did quit. I will go through each turn as they go through, so let's get to it. However, I do feel the coin flip is very against me. I don't usually win them, so it's not always the best system to have. But anyway, I feel like the rock, paper, scissors system of the old games was better. So, at the start of this duel, I have Harpy's Feather Duster, Royal Tribute, Cosmic Cyclone, Skill Drain, and Dogmatica Punishment. So, I place all my 3 cards face down. Skill Drain, obviously, is a big one against most decks. Dogmatica Punishment in case they bring out a monster that's quite high damage that I won't be able to get over because my deck doesn't have that many high attack cards. And then Cosmic Cyclone to get rid of a spell card. Couldn't play Royal Tribute this turn because I do not have a Necro Valley on the field. So let's go through his turn. I think I mess up here by playing the Cosmic Cyclone, potentially. So he tries to bring out Cyber Dragon Veiler, I think it is. Yeah, so he attacks me. It's 3 damage, I can't do anything about that. Could always Dogmatica it, but didn't really want to do that. And as you see there, I got rid of his Mirror Force, which is key going forward in this duel. So, Necro Valley Throne, a big part of this deck because it enables me to get Necro Valley from my deck by using the GraveKeeper monster. I can't remember what it's called. Not that one. So I didn't do it this time, but there is one monster you can activate its ability to get a Necro Valley out. So as you can see there, when I attacked his Cyber Dragon, he would have activated his Mirror Force, and that would have been me. No monsters, and he just gets free reign, as I've already lost quite a lot of life points as it is. So I did let him play out here a bit to see what he summoned. So right now I use Dogmatica Punishment. Just for the record before we go forward, these will all be replays because I didn't record this as I was playing. The internet's been quite bad due to the wind and the weather, so decided to do replays instead. It's a bit quicker and I can talk through them as we're going on. So obviously I don't want that Cyber Dragon on the field because it would destroy my monsters. So at this point, terraforming, I want to get rid of his back row so he can't stop my terraforming. The only way he could have done it was with Ash, Ash Blossom, like them kind of cards, hand traps. So at this point here, if he has any monsters, anything like that, they all go to the graveyard, same as me. But he doesn't. Just lucky for him. But it also tells me that he's got no monsters for him to summon. So let's move on. Obviously, he couldn't do anything this turn. This is just a free turn from here. What do I get rid of? Pot of Duality. That card there, hold on. So this card here, Hidden Temples of Necro Valley. This card is usually what stops people playing. So obviously you have Necro Valley, which negates their graveyard. So any effects in the graveyard don't work. You've got Skill Drain, which is stopping their monster abilities. And then this stops people from special summoning monsters other than Gravekeepers. This basically, unless they destroy my monster, it's game over. Because you can't special summon from your hand. Cyber Dragons need a special summon. Can't use stuff from the graveyard. He tries to activate his ability. Skill Drain negates it. So this is kind of my end game board. I think this was in... Was this in the... No, it wasn't. This was just free play. Wasn't in the XYZ tournament. So here I was just trying to get another monster out just so I could win on this turn, which I do. But that combination there of Skill Drain, the Hidden Temples of Necro Valley are the end game boards for me. And as you can see from my history, it actually wins quite often. So, duel number 2. So, my hand this time, obviously Necro Valley, great card off from the get-go. He's allowed me to go first, which is great. Solemn Judgment, this is stop any summons or back row cards he wants to activate, and then we can get 2 monsters out with this. So let's let this turn play out. Necro Valley, bring forth Spiritualist. So I place these 2 cards down because you can only use Card of Demise if you have 3 or less cards in your hand, and then it will make up the extra cards up till 3. So if you have 0, it'll get you 3 cards, which is what I did here. Unfortunately for the guy we're playing, I drew Royal Tribute, and when I play this card, you'll see now. So when I activate it, I just got rid of 3 cards. I'm guessing he was playing I'd say Exodia deck because of these. So let's see him draw a card. But if I remember rightly, his turn starts, he doesn't draw it once, he leaves. Yeah. Because he couldn't get access to his graveyard. Duel number 3. I will try and do these duels live for next time. I'll only go through 3 or 4 of these. I might actually go through one of the long ones to get through, just to show you something. So obviously I go second here, so this is, because I haven't got any hand traps, it's a free turn for this guy. So Torrential Tribute and Solemn Judgment, great cards to have. Destroy a monster on the field. I think I do mess up with the card. It might not be destroyed, but I remember losing my monster in one of them. So Dogmatica, destroy a monster by using my extra deck. This duel I do get stalled out by 2 cards that need to be either attacked twice or destroyed twice. So I do let him get a few cards here. We're keeping all the main cards for later. And he just ends his turn there. The current position that I'm in here, I can't actually do anything to this card because it needs to be destroyed twice by battle. I can only do once. I could Dogmatica it and then attack, which I think I do later on. So, Duality helps me out massively here by allowing me to get a second card. So that card here also cannot be destroyed by battle the first time. This is just a stall deck, and they cause many problems for people if you don't have the right cards. So this was me trying to kind of finish this off, because he could bring out something else. He tries to bring 2 cards back from the graveyard. He can't. He ends his turn. So I summon Supernaturalist. Yeah. So this card got 3,300. You can activate its ability and bring 1 card from your deck, either a GraveKeeper monster or a Necro Valley card from your deck to your hand, which is a great way of getting your Necro Valleys, your monsters like Commander and Spiritualist to your hand, so you could create another one of these if you really needed to. So what I did here was, I knew this card couldn't be destroyed twice, and I knew he had this card by looking back in the history. So if you look back in the history, the cards he drew for this, and I can't remember it, and this, and he discarded this. So I knew that card wasn't a store card, meaning that I could attack it freely. So I attacked the Resonator here, and then used Dogmatica to finish it off. And then this is basically endgame board for me. So that card can also get Hidden Temples of Necro Valley, which obviously ends this duel for this guy, as he special summons quite a lot. Solemn Judgment, his other card. It just leaves him with no cards in his hand. Torrential Tribute twice, if I need to. And this is basically game from here, if I remember rightly. So his turn, draws. Yeah, basically game. I do mess up there. I try to activate his ability, and instead I turn it to defense mode, so obviously he gets one more turn. But I don't think it matters in the long run. To be honest, Supernatural, there you go, equip. Supernaturals is basically there to protect Necro Valley, so you can keep your 10 Temples of Necro Valley on the field. We'll do one more, so it's currently 3. We'll do 2 actually, because there's this one that's 14, which shows when, I believe when I brick, when my deck bricks and takes a while. So we'll go through that in a second. So once again, in this duel, you've got to play for the hand traps. So obviously, I'm trying to get Necro Valley out. That is the main card you need to get all these combos started. So I have a Commandant, activate its ability, get a Necro Valley, and I also have Necro Valley Throne, which can bring another Commandant out. So as soon as you activate this, if he has an Ash, he will use it, which I believe happens in this duel. So I activate Commandant. Oh no, doesn't. I try and bait it out then. Card demise when I've got no cards. Gets 10 Temples of Necro Valley. He can't special summon. He can't use his graveyard. And then I believe this is what finishes him off here. He set 4 back rows. I think Harvey's Feather Duster he disables with Solemn. I activate that, get rid of another one. And then it's basically game, if I remember rightly. Yeah. Solid Judgment's me Harpy's Feather Duster, fair enough. Cosmic Cyclone, take a bit more life points. So at this point I use Skill Drain. Basically it finishes my board off. 3 card combo, Necro Valley, Hidden Temples of Necro Valley, and Skill Drain. There's literally nothing that they can do now to use to get monsters from their extra deck, things like that. It's just game. This deck is quite good for that, however it can brick at times. I.e. like this one takes 14 turns. So once this loads, I'll let this one just run through and I'll talk it through. Cyber Angels obviously can need their effects from the graveyard, so it's a very good card to have, Necro Valley, because it'll stop all this happening. It's not the I'm not very familiar with Cyber Angels anyway, so this This duel took me off guard a little bit. But he thinks he's got quite a good cards here. So as you can see, I've got 2 Dogmaticas, so obviously I am going to play one of them in this turn. He ashes my duality, which is great, which is what I planned for. So in this turn I can draw 1 card from 3, or I can draw 3 cards. So what I did was I baited out his Ash Blossom with duality, so I could play cards of the Demise later on and not be threatened by a hand trap. Card Demise, get 2 extra cards because I didn't play a monster because I was stupid. Obviously my Gravekeeper now will get me Necro Valley because I'd already normal summoned, having this in my hand, card Demise would get rid of at the end of the turn, so I needed to get Necro Valley out anyway. But I could also see if he has any monsters in his hand, which he had 2. So he had in his hand 2 Bentons. So all 3 of his Cyber Angel Bentons are in the graveyard, and he can't activate their ability because of Necro Valley. So this is a good position for me. He tries to activate his effect from the graveyard, which is special summon this card from the hand or graveyard in defense position, and you can have 1 ritual monster. Obviously, Necro Valley will negate that because it's moving a card from the graveyard to the field. Won't work. It just gives me a free turn. He has no cards in his hand. It's a very easy free turn. Direct attack. End. So, currently, stopping his graveyard, which makes this whole play, and 2 cards to stop a monster summon, which is that one, or a spell, and then obviously target a monster. And then, just in case, I have a spare. Spare 2 maybe. So this duel just runs through now. I think I do run into a slight issue later, but it's fine. I believe he ashes this again, 2nd time in the duel, yeah. Which is fine, because I don't need an extra card anyway. I was just playing it because I had it. Just see what I draw, but it's a very easy duel to win from here. He has nothing. I believe I draw another Royal Tribute soon as well, which just makes the duel even easier. So right here. So add 1 level 7 or lower ritual monster on your deck. I wasn't allowing this to go through because you never know what these are. So I'll solemn this. Basically giving him no chance. He places a monster in defense mode. It's kind of an easy win for me. It's just me getting rid of... Yeah, so he has Ash. So he had a 3rd Ash in his hand. So from 7 draws, he got 3 Ash Blossoms, which... ridiculous. But at this point, I have no way of getting above it. So I have to use Dogmatica, but I don't want him to have a trap card that he can use against me. So I'll wait for his end of the turn, see what he's summoning, see if he'd use Ash, and then wipe it off the field. And this is game. I wasn't going to summon there, so I had a Commandant in my hand. If I was to summon there and he had Torrential Tribute, yes, it wouldn't have been affected because of Necro Valley, but didn't want to risk it just in case the game has some kind of mechanic that would get rid of it. But from there, all these duels are literally quick and easy, so I may as well run through these. It won't take 5 minutes. So, but you get the gist. You get Necro Valley out. You get Hidden Temple, Skill Drain. It's basically a done deal. It's end game. I don't even think you get to do anything in this duel. I think it's just a little. You just quit straight away. Yeah. Clearly bricked. Didn't have a good hand. So look at this one. This one actually has a second turn. So here, I actually have a very good hand. Doesn't look it. So, terraforming gets me Necro Valley, stops them special summoning, destroys all their monsters, and have a second one and card as mine. So I just set that one, use that, get 3 more cards. Activate Necro Valley, activate Royal Tribute. If you look at what I got rid of, you know, they're mad good cards to get rid of. Because obviously he wants to get a field spell from his deck. Declare an attack, negates it. Also, he can't get any of these cards back now. And there you go, Torrential Tribute, Pot of Duality, Skill Drain. Game over. So at this point here, as I used Pot of Duality, I couldn't activate this because I have no monsters on the field. But I drew one with Pot of Duality, which basically ends the game for him. Because as soon as his turn starts and he places a card on the field, I activate Skill Drain. Done. He has no cards to negate it. It's over. He tries to activate his Neuron Network, but Neuron Network won't work because he needs to special summon and my Hidden Temple would stop it. Very good deck if you want to try and control the board. But 10 Temples of Necro Valley will only be good as long as you have usually 2 or more monsters, because if your monster gets destroyed without a monster on if your one monster gets destroyed, that card gets destroyed as well. So he took Ash Blossom from that whole set, summons this. What does this do? Once per turn during this time I shuffle this card into the deck. But he can return as many monsters on the field. He tries to activate this. I can't remember when. So that there, I have this in my hand, so it's a free draw of Necro Valley because I activated Commander. If he Ash Blossoms it, I can then just get another Commander and get Necro Valley out, which is what I do. So Commandant can't be used. I use this. Free draw of Commandant. This is a draw I mess up on because I forget to play this monster. But Necro Valley, done. I activate Royal Tribute, which gets rid of this card. Card Demise gets me a monster. Sets Skill Drain Solemn. It's basically over. So when he activates his ability here, I activate Skill Drain, stops him from shuffling it into his deck. And the game's done. They were my 8? Yeah. 8 duels to get him from gold 5 to gold 2. I'll come back with some live duels next time. Alright guys, well I'm going to leave you there. Actually, before I go, what I will do is I will show you this deck. I can't take credit for this deck. Team Samurai, he did a video on this a few weeks back, and it's a good deck to follow. So give him a shout out, and I will speak to you guys next time.